Hello, everyone. It's Kay, and I'm back with another Hollywood Exposed. Hollywood Exposed 12, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Breakdown Part 4. I know I said I was only going to do 3 parts, but while watching the film, I found another key scene that speaks into everything we talked about with monarch slaves and what happens with them. As you remember in previous videos, I talked about um, other people who have been slaves to the Illuminati, such as Bryce Taylor and Kathy O'Brien. And they talked about being sex slaves and the things that will happen to them. Well, this scene in the Hunger Games speaks to that very thing. I was shocked when I saw it. I was shocked when I heard what this character said. It's amazing how they just slip these things in there, that truth right in there. Listen very carefully to what he said, because everything he's saying in this next clip is exactly what happens to these slaves. Check it out.
President Snow used to sell me, for my body at least. I wasn't the only one. If a victor is considered desirable, the president gives them as a reward or allows people to buy them. If you refuse, and you kill someone you love. Mockingjay.
Amazing, right? He said he was pretty much pimped out by President Snow, that his body was being used by him, and that other victors have the same thing happen to them. This is not talking about a film. This is talking about what happens to these stars with the elite. This is what happens when you are a monarch, mind controlled slave. You get passed around for sex by the elite. And listen to something else he said, interesting. He said that they get payment, they get a reward, or they get sold out to others in the elite. And if they don't comply, that they threaten to kill their families. I mean, what more can I say? This is serious stuff, people. This is exactly what happens with the elite. If you don't comply, and you're a monarch, mind control slave. If you're a sex slave and you refuse to be sold to the highest bidder, and you refuse to do what they say, as your masters that they are, because that's what they are, masters, handlers, whatever you want to call them, they will threaten to kill your family. They will threaten to kill anyone close to you. It is very sickening how they use these people just like a tissue that you just blow your nose and throw it away. That's exactly how they use them, as property. It's very sad. It's very disturbing. If you listen to Kathy O'Brien's story, she said the same thing. She was a sex slave. She even talked about uh, being used as a spy. Bryce Taylor also talked about being used as a spy for the elite to keep secrets. There's another scene in this film after that scene where he talks about being a sex slave, his body being used by President Snow, and other victors being used this way as sex slaves. He also says, they give you rewards, they, give you jewelry, they give you gifts, they give you payments for your services, if you will. But if you don't comply, they threaten you, they threaten to beat you, torture you, torture your family. But also, Bryce Taylor said that as a child, she was a sex slave to the elite, and they even used her to lure in other children as bait to capture other kids to be sold as sex slaves. That they would have children in the back at the parties, in cages, in rooms, locked away for the elite to pick and choose which preference. If they had a preference for little boys, there was a room full of them for them to pick from for the evening. If they wanted little girls, there was a room full of little girls for them to pick from. These people are sick. They are pedophiles. They are perverts. They are satanic. Corey Feldman talked about the pedophilia. He was a sex slave. He was raped by powerful directors. There's even some rumors that Charlie Sheen, as a teen back on the set of Lucas, had sexually abused Corey Feldman's best friend, in that film. And Charlie Sheen was probably like, I don't know, 18 at the time, 19 maybe, while Corey Haim, I believe, was like 14. I mean, this stuff has been going on for years. Kathy O'Brien and Bryce Taylor, this stuff went on back in the 60s and 70s when they were kids, when they were children during the 70s. Please look at the links that I linked up on the bottom of these videos. I felt the need to present this information and show these things. I mean, if you listen very carefully what they're saying, it's very obvious what they're saying. It's not a movie about action and just some fantasy thing. This movie has so much Illuminati propaganda in it. It's about it alludes to the Holocaust and what happened in the concentration camps during the Nazis. Even the sign they do with their fingers for District 13. What does that look like to you? It looks like Hail Hitler, doesn't it? I mean, come on, people. This isn't entertainment. This is truth hidden in plain sight. There was even another scene that mirrored ISIS where they sacrificed these people that had black hoods over their head and they were shot execution style before a crowd for treason. President Snow ordered the hit. He said that anyone who wore a Mockingjay pin or memorabilia will be shot on the spot. Police state, there's all this military police state imagery. There's New World Order imagery. I mean, the Katniss being the rebel and fighting against the system, as I said, that black and white, that Freemason, Lucifer versus Satan, the false light versus, you know, versus Satan, the false Luciferian light versus Satan, you know, um, all of it. There's the transhumanism, um, technology with the tech guy, and CERN. There was CERN imagery and portal imagery there on the computer. If you saw the film, you would have seen that. So it alludes to CERN. There was another scene that alluded to the Freemason Jacob's Ladder. There's so much going on, people, but the main thing is the sex slave, the monarch programming, all of this, the police state agenda, it's all there. Check out the film if you haven't seen it. You will see it for yourself. Comment below what you think about this. And stay tuned for more videos where I will cover other programs with similar themes. So take care of yourself and peace and love until next time. Bye.